Welcome to the Purposeful in Life podcast, where our mission is to help individuals and organizations find their purpose so that they may live a life that is fulfilling and inspired in and out of work. Your hosts, Christina Hall and myself, Garrett Willey, are passionate to inspire, teach, mentor, and serve our community. We have 42 years of combined experience as entrepreneurs and in international corporations. Both of us have military backgrounds. Myself, Garrett, as a commissioned officer with over 9 years of service, and Christina as a military spouse of over 15 years. Welcome to Purposeful in Life, where together we go on the journey of discovering a life filled with purpose and intention. And we're off to the races again at Purposeful in Life with Garrett Willey and
Christina Hall.
And we love that you're joining us. And we have a guest who is a fabulous artist today. Mm-hmm. And she's going to talk about how she became an artist and where her life is driven towards that and what she's able to do to help serve other people with it, and where she finds fulfillment with that. And our guest is Penny Firehorse.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So I've always been curious about your last name. Can you tell us the origin of that?
Yes, it's basically from the Chinese New Year's. I'm a fire horse. I was born on a certain year where it's the year of the horse, and it's a special one. A fire horse is a catalyst, basically. And so I'm a conduit to getting things done. So,
wow.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
That is so cool.
You changed your last name then, I take it? Or
it's in process, but yeah, it's an artist name. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I love that. I had no idea. Mm-hmm. Awesome.
So we'll try to learn a lot of things about you. Hopefully, you just open
yes.
up and like gushing, crying, the whole 9 yards would be fantastic.
Well, if I cry, I can't help it.
That's okay.
Right,
I do sometimes. Oh, they're over there somewhere. Sadie will get them for us if it comes to that. But because we just want to be real in whatever conversation comes up. This is just a conversation, and then obviously people watch us,
right.
Whatever, or are involved with it. And our main purpose is to help, with the show, to help people be able to discover and learn about their own purpose and see if they resonate with other people. Mm-hmm. Because we're here trying to figure out, why we're here on this earth and on this planet. Right. And we really believe that our purpose, Christina and I, is to serve other people. Mm-hmm. Right. And a lot of people will come through life or whatever, and you'll ask them, and they're like, my purpose is my kids or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I think there's more to it than that.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't mean that can't be part of who they are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I kind of think that purposes are like a concentric circles, like where you have a purpose that you were created for and that your life led you to. Mm-hmm. And then you have like sub purposes out from that. Mm-hmm. And there could be, multiple circles. And as you get farther out, they could be phases in your life. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like a job that you might have, like a career or what have you, that can change. And just because, like Kim Schomer's dad or uncle that raised her, when he couldn't be a surgeon anymore, like a year after that, he committed suicide, and she told us that on the show.
Oh, no.
And it was like, because I think his identity was wrapped up in that he was a surgeon. Mm-hmm. And when he couldn't do that anymore, he didn't have another thing that he could figure out, which is sad. I mean, obviously a brilliant person, but didn't have that, next level thought process of how we do that. Yeah. And, suicide is really sad.
It is.
Christina Hall had a close friend.
Yeah.
That was last week.
That was last week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Jeez, where did we go?
Back to finding the purpose.
No, but that's part of it, right?
Yeah.
Because he lost his identity, most likely. Like you come back and you have that, soldiers have that intense, situation, the life that they live out there with the adrenaline and the serving with their brothers and the protecting of each other. And then they come back and when they're there, they're in this like small group format where it's really tight. Right. And it's obviously like the military is structured in like squads, and then, platoons and companies or what have you. And it structures out from like a really dynamic small group. Mm-hmm. And then everyday life, we don't have that.
Right.
This is why like in church, they're always like, have a small group, because that's where you're going to learn the most about yourself and the most about your faith and the most about how to serve other people. And so it's important to have, tight-knit people that have a same or similar value set with a similar purpose in mind. And that helps, with our mental health. You know.
It totally does.
I think we're
I
created
totally
for the
agree.
community, right? To
Yeah.
be in
Yes.
community. This is why we love Ignite You. We got a community of people. It's a business networking group that we're all in and where we met. It's a community or a network of business people that are all trying to improve themselves and help each other
Yeah.
Yep,
as well
exactly.
as grow their businesses. So we have an essence of that there. And how many people don't, and
A lot of people don't. I know that over my course of my life, I've had different aspects happen. I've had a brother that was in the military, and then a little bit later he passed away. It was an accident, but it's a traumatic thing. And that's the thing with my work. Ultimately, I want to help people understand that they have an avenue through art and that was a big reason for doing my art, and I didn't realize it at the time, is to help me heal from the trauma of life. And there's certain things you just kind of go through, but there's other things that are more traumatic, a death, a family member, a friend, a close-knit family member. And the biggest thing for me is because I've had the trauma when I was growing up of abuse and violence and all of that. I had no idea that I had any other options than what I was taught. And so going through that process of learning art and learning it in a way that I've always been an artist most of my life. But learning it in such a way that it's more of a meditative thing where I can get out of my stuff and rewire my brain where I feel happier, I'm more fulfilled, and I'm not going to the survival mode, but more of going to, oh, this is okay because I'm okay, the safety thing. So I think it's very important that we do include art in any way, shape, or form because it balances us. We can't just always be working. We can't always be on vacation. We all need the balance.
And is art like being creative? Because obviously I can't draw.
You don't
I mean, I can't do that stuff.
I
It's
can't
beautiful.
either.
creative, intuitive. It's intuitive and creative, just like with your journal. That's a type of creative force. It's putting that out into the universe in a different way and expressing yourself. Any of that is very important. And the reason it's very important because it puts it maps your mind into something different than what you've done in the past. It makes you grow. It helps you grow. It doesn't make you grow, but it does too. So, I mean,
It opens the door for growth, is what you're saying, right?
yes,
Yeah.
that's a better way to put it. And you have to step through the door, though. You have to really step through that door. And if you don't step through that door, it's an opportunity. I see things, just like coming on. I was very nervous coming on. I've never done this.
Here?
Yes.
You don't, it doesn't show.
I'm hiding it very well. So it's something that to have no expectations and just kind of go with it. And it's always about, I'm going to talk with my hands. It's
okay.
always about being grateful for opportunities and not to prejudge them. There's certain things you kind of have to discern, but to be open to them. You never know what's going to happen. You never know that one person that's going to light you on fire and take you down that road. You never know. Those relationships are so important. Like with Ignite You, when I first came there, I had a certain mindset, and then I realized, oh, this is different than anything I've ever experienced. And I am so grateful for that group because not only have I grown personally, but I I just feel happier and just more grateful for everything.
You're just exposed to so many other minds too, and so many other things that then inspire probably you as an artist too.
Yes, my relationships with a lot of the people in the room have been very extraordinary. Because especially the ones that I've really kind of gelled with, they inspire me because they love me. And and how could you not be inspired by someone loving you as you are,
Yes.
just as you are, nothing more, nothing less, just as you are. So if you show up as you, that's the best thing. So,
Yeah. That is powerful, showing up as you,
yes.
wherever you are.
Yes. And not to hide your light under
A bushel.
well, a
What
bushel.
was that little song?
Okay. But we all have our different light and
Yeah.
in different taste, and that's what's really great about it is because even though I may not agree with someone, I can understand where they might be coming from. And I know with my work, with myself and my art, I understand there's patterns and things, and I see things. I don't necessarily say anything because you know how people are. They're just, they're in their own mind, and you kind of get stuck, and you just kind of need some help, and that's what I do. I volunteer in the community. I've done food banks. I've done volunteering at art shops on 6th Avenue. I've also done volunteering, of course, at the MLK today.
Yeah, tell us about that a little bit. What is that going on?
Basically, what it is a celebration for Martin Luther King at the Convention Center. I'm on the City of Tacoma's Events and Recognition Committee. And as a part of that, we helped set up and arrange for this to be put on Martin Luther King Day, which today is that. And I've been on the committee for almost 2 years, and we also do City of Destiny as well. And those are awards for people in the community, basically what recognize people in the community that do the like with Luana Lee, she does
I was
the
actually
food
just
group.
thinking about her when you said
Yeah,
that.
she was nominated this year. She didn't get it, but she was nominated. So I think that's very important work that needs to be done. A lot of people shy away from it because, in those lower vibrations, but if we don't at least give a hand up, not necessarily hand out, but a hand up, and reach out to these people, we're not going to solve our problems. We're really not. So, and that's what I want to get out is that it's not just about the artwork, but making those connections with people and understanding people where they're at the time and being aware of that and nurturing that. A lot of people shied away from it, and we need more people in the trenches. We really do. And I don't want to say it that way, but that's basically what it is. So I've been very welcomed in the community here in Tacoma. I used to live in Kent. We bought a house down here in Tacoma, and I love Tacoma. It's amazing. So
I'm happy to hear that you're finding, is it fulfillment? You think that's what you're feeling when you're there serving people? Because you've said a lot of things about you volunteer for a lot of different aspects where it's in the community and helping with a hand up, not
a hand out. Yeah, a hand up. Sometimes, most of the time, a lot of these people just need someone to hear them, and just to be listened to. Our lives are so busy, and we just forget that sometimes someone just needs someone to listen, not necessarily solve the problem, but it just to be heard, to understand that we're all in this together. we're at just different levels, and we've got to be open to the fact that sometimes we gotta give a hand up.
I like that.
You know, I have a pet project that I want to help veterans or people of domestic violence with artwork. It helps, like I said, get you out of that headspace and develop other brain paths and possibilities, and helps you clear that up, so you're not just in this circle cycling and constantly in that, ooh, I'm gonna, you know. And it's just sometimes it's kind of hard to articulate what that is. I've been there. I know. I'm a mother of 2 children. I was divorced, single mom for a long time. So I've done a lot of things that I'm not proud of, but you know, sometimes you got to make choices. You know, it's whether your child has to eat and you go without, you know, in those kind of situations, you kind of, you know, it's a tough one. It really is. And I feel for people that go through those experiences, because I've gone through them myself, and I know. And I haven't always had a good what's the word, support system. A close-knit support system, like you were saying a little bit ago about the small groups, and then it kind of filters out to other groups. So I've struggled a lot, and it's not that I want to put out there that, oh, woe is me or anything, but I've also have the recognition to know that if I went through it, I'm sure other people have.
Oh yeah.
And if other people have, you know, if they can hear some little tidbit, you know, that helps them and inspires them, okay, that's great. But I'm all about helping other people with my art, with any other way I can. You know, like I said, I volunteered with food banks, I volunteered with the city. I've done Kiwanis, just many things over the years. I can't think of them right now, but you know, the parks and recreation, it's not just one thing. It's being a part of the community and really giving back. Even though I may not have a lot of money, I know that I fulfilled something within the community I contributed, regardless of money. And a lot of people get, in my opinion, get stuck on, well, I can't contribute money, but you can contribute your time, your talent.
Yeah, and your energy and your listening.
Right.
Like you said, just being there for people.
Right.
I'm seeing a pattern from what you're sharing of when you're helping people, whether it's like with your artwork itself or teaching people how to use art and creativity to cope as a coping skill, as a like a what's the word I'm looking for, when you're meditating, like a
It's a meditative process for me anyway.
You know?
And it really is, because the only thing that you're thinking about is right there. And you're looking at it, and I try to bring to it a beauty of, wow, look at this. Look what you created with your own hands. Look what, you know, and it doesn't have to be anything, especially like with acrylic pours. It's never going to be the same. And it's always going to be this beautiful piece of artwork because you created it and it just comes out the way it comes out.
Have you done that yet?
I have not, but I want to do it. But to your point, saying that you're in that space, like you, Garrett, you said, I can't draw, paint. I can't either. Like, I was my art teacher. Like, she hated me because I couldn't do anything.
Your stick figure doesn't look like a stick figure.
Exactly. Pretty much. Like, I'm that bad mom, and I'm not a Pinterest mom. You know, I'm not creative that way. But you know, those, like you teach the acrylic pour or the paint classes. It's for everyone. It doesn't matter what level you're at, but you're in that. You get in that space. If it's meditation or whatever, what you want to call it, but you definitely forget about everything else. You just
Right.
focus. It opens up your brain to other opportunities almost.
It's a heart mind thing,
Yeah.
and it opens you up to so much more than just your mind. It's your heart. You're being in the moment and really experiencing it
Yeah.
is really what it's all about. Those experiences, you know, like when you take a vacation, to have those experiences to where you're going. Well, this kind of takes you, I don't want to say inside, but sort of, and just in this moment, in this time, and it can break down a lot of barriers. It really can, and help you open up to other possibilities.
Yes.
So,
I'm very interested in it because like
Yep.
my fiance Angela, like she's talked to me about like being meditative or meditating or what have you, and I'm like oh, for instance, I went and tried to do those. I mean, I have no idea what you're talking about. Those salt. What are those things? That
Floating?
Floating. Oh my gosh.
the urban flow?
I tried it.
Yeah.
And you ran out.
I didn't run out. Pretty much. Pretty. I was in there, and finally, I was like, I can't take it anymore.
Oh, really?
And I got out, and you know, like they after like the hour or whatever it is, they turn on music to let you know that your hour's up, so you get out and shower. I was showering when it came on, so I almost lasted the whole time. I had
good.
no idea what time it was. You know, you put all that stuff away, but it was just like I was like, this is too much silence for me. And when we came out, because she was in another room or whatever, and we left, she was like, you didn't like that, did you? And I was like, I was very uncomfortable with me, but so I'm interested. Like maybe that just isn't it for me.
And there's
but
so many other opportunities, but if you try that art, like I can't put it in words. Like for me as a person that when I'm in like in a museum, an art museum, I can't interpret the things, right? But you don't have to. It's your own space. Whatever you put on that canvas, it's you.
Yes.
And it takes you out of your current reality. And then when you're done and you're like, it feels like you don't know that how much time passed.
Yeah.
It's like you're in your state. I can't express it. Like,
It's the best way I can describe it. It is a meditative state where you can come out of it and, oh, wow, I really did this, you know?
yeah.
Oh, then all is good.
and you can feel good about it, and be
Because you
grateful
don't need
for it.
to know about art to do it.
Yeah.
That's the amazing thing about it. And it's amazing. It really is.
I'm curious. I mean, I want to try. I want to try some more because it's like
You have
okay,
to.
that's
Yes.
because we did that one thing with Cami where we made the flags, right? And I became like a little competitive about it. It's like I
You
want to
do it
make,
on your own.
yeah,
Do it somewhere where you don't know it.
yeah, because I was like I got to make the best flag.
Like, maybe you should try the acrylic pour.
Yeah,
It's different.
because it is
think so.
different and it's not about being competitive because
Yeah.
none of them will be the same.
Yeah,
It
Yeah.
will never be the same.
and
Even when
actually,
I do techniques very similar,
yeah,
I never get the same results.
but you can like play with it a whole bunch and try
Yep.
to create something out of it. I like that. Okay, I'm in.
Okay.
I'll definitely try. But you mentioned about your pet project, which I'm really curious about,
Yes.
because you're trying to help people who've either through, military service or abuse have some form of like a PTSD type thing,
Correct.
post-traumatic stress disorder, or
It's
just the stress that they deal with. Right? It might not. You don't have to label it. It's just like we've all
Right.
been through shit, so like accept
Yeah,
it and quit trying to pretend like you haven't. Right? Like nobody's machismo, like, oh, I haven't experienced life, right? How do you cope with that? And just ignoring it is not a way of coping with it.
No.
So, but we need ways to be able to restore ourselves.
Yes,
Right.
and that's one of the things with the Heart of Colors project.
Heart of Colors is what you call it?
Yeah, the Heart of Colors. I'm hoping to have sponsorships to where I can bring in those people. They can experience it and leave with something that is better than what they came in with. a better mindset, a better wholeness. I know for myself with art, it's been a huge journey for me anyway. And I know that I've overcome a lot of my scarcity, of my survival instincts and such. So I'm hoping to get that off the ground and continue that work. I think it's important. It's just another tool for these people, including myself. So, and the pressure's off with the acrylic pours. The pressure's off to be, oh, well, I have to be an artist. No, you don't. It's about the experience and about being open to other ideas. And not that I'm going to be, putting ideas out there. I'm going to help you create something that you're really excited about, and maybe
the person doing it can have some time of creativity,
right, without knowing how to draw or be an artist. Yes, that's what's important.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it a lot. That sounds like it has a lot of potential to help a lot of people.
It does. I just got to meet the right people in the right time. The whole thing. It's all about timing.
And something I'm just thinking about now is because you're getting a lot of your healing by helping other people. How does that get passed on so that someone can come to the class and then figure out their thing of helping other people, because that's going to help them heal as well?
Well, I have to kind of back up here. Just one time is not going to complete it. I mean, obviously, it's just opening a door to where they could look at other possibilities. Whether they come back and do different, several sessions, that's okay too. Or they can experience other avenues to, it's just something to kind of break you out of that cycle. Because sometimes, I know for myself, especially when I was younger, it was just a vicious cycle. Well, this. And we get in our minds so much. And so I wanted to make sure it's not like, I don't want to say that it's an art therapy because of laws, but it is a type of therapy. So in that it's a meditative state, you kind of go into this, this is what I'm focusing on. This is something that it's tangible. I can take it away and I can put it on the wall and go, wow, I created this. I was creative. And look at the colors. Look at the design. And that's what I'm all about. So
I like that. I think that it could be a form of therapy.
Yeah.
But I want to say that with a little bit of emphasis that therapy is not bad.
No.
There's so many, I think people have programmed themselves in their minds that they have this preconceived idea that if someone gets counseling or does some kind of therapy, that they're weak or broken or what have you. And it's they're probably getting some form of therapy or looking for ways to heal oneself is probably the healthiest thing that can be done.
And they're really strong seeking that out.
Yeah, it's a strength to do that.
Yeah, it totally is. Because otherwise you're going to be self-medicating. And I've seen people self-medicate with, a lot of my family are alcoholics, they medicate with alcohol. And there's people that medicate with medications, Instead of self-medicating, how about you treat yourself to something more than that? Something that will be lasting, something that will be so powerful that you want to do something different. And
you can have joy while you're doing it because it's fun and you can get out of that state where you're not thinking about the horrors of life.
The horrors of life. Right? Yeah, I love it.
You're thinking about, you're enjoying the colors, you're playing with it, whatever. It's just play. That's what happens.
What it is. It's play.
Kids have play. Yeah. And did you talk about this recently? Okay, you got to talk about it more. But
you
talk about play. Yeah. Please join it.
please.
Join us.
Join us. I'm here.
But
promise.
it totally is that. It's about play and letting go.
Yes, and what you said, like a lot of people self-medicate, and it's not the medication medicate, but how many people go to, to the TV and say, oh, one more show before I have to do something else, or before I have to do the dishes, or get that project done, or, oh, I need more chocolate because that's what's making me feel better. It's not making you feel better. It's just, what's the word? It's a Band-Aid in that moment. So, and that's, like, I read that and I can't paraphrase the whole thing, but it's your inner child telling you, hey, I want to play. I'm still here.
Yes.
Why don't you give me something to do? I'm still that young person. I want the fun. I want the play. I want the joy in life. And you're not giving it to them because you're constantly in that cycle. Get up, go to work, do your chores, and then go to bed.
And that's the whole thing about being balanced.
Yeah.
To include that child in play. And you don't have to do it every day, but at least once a week, I think is a good measure. I know for myself, as being an artist, I have to do art almost every day. And when I'm compelled to do it, I sometimes, I'm even woken up at night, okay, here's this vision. I've been given this vision. I've got to go do this. It's for me, it's kind of like downloading from the universe. And it's like, okay, you've got to go do this. And then there's other things I just kind of doodle. So, I mean, for me, it's listening to that still small voice and understanding that is your God self calling you to do what you need to do, not just in life, but for your soul, for you, in your highest best. So, letting that child out once in a while is okay, and it's great, but you need to do it more often on consistent basis.
Yeah.
And I think at least once a week,
Yeah.
we should be remembering, even though it says in the Bible, and please forgive me if I paraphrase wrong, we got to set aside childlike things. Well, set aside is one thing, but to forget it altogether is another. We've got to have that balance.
Yep.
And if we don't continue to have that childlike wonder, we die. We really do. We're just killing ourselves sooner.
And so art is a good way to bring that back.
Yes. To bring you back to centered and whole.
Yeah. Or music, which is another form of
it will
art,
do it.
right?
I think Dallas's singing bowls with intuitive singing bowls is another example of that as well. It helps keep that vibration up and open you up to greater and better things. So,
Have you done that? The bowls thing?
Me? Yes. I'm a big fan.
Have you gone to a studio?
Yeah. Multiple times.
Okay.
have you?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Shameful. No, just
I'm a little weirded out by it.
why?
No.
I stood in it once, and I was
Yeah,
like,
I have
okay,
proof
this
of that.
feels kind of good. What's that?
I have proof of that.
Proof of what?
That you stood in it.
Well, I don't know. You took a picture?
Yeah.
Or? Oh. Like, what proof could there be? And so, yeah, Angela's trying to convince me to go to his studio and do that. And I'm like, okay,
Just do
without
it.
much conviction. Oh, do it anyways. Yeah.
Sometimes we have to work through that. We really do. But
Yeah.
that's okay. But,
That's probably the same, whatever resistance that I have, like with the water thing that didn't make any sense to me because it was just like too quiet. But I don't know. I might just like sleep if I go there.
that's okay
You
too.
probably will, yes.
That's okay.
What did Mel call it? A massage of the soul.
Yes.
Yes, a massage of the soul. And it is. It really is.
Yeah.
So, it's an amazing thing. And I support everyone that I can and resonate with a lot of people in that room. And like I said, I'm very, very grateful for all of you in the room. And it's important that we continue to open ourselves up to these opportunities, and I feel they are opportunities, and we need it more now than before, more than ever, is because we've forgotten our child within us. We really have, as a society in general.
Yes.
And sometimes we gotta let that child out.
Yeah, I just like to do a lot of work, I guess, and that's not letting the child out. You know, I found things, and what I'd like to get back to someday, but I don't have like the shop to do it right now, is like woodwork. Like, I think that the artwork that I would like to do someday, like I've kind of told myself a story, or I've even told others, now I'm telling the world, is that my dream would be to have like a wood shop. Like when people ask like, what'd you do when you retire? And I'm like, well, I would never retire. Why would somebody want to retire? Well, that's because they're going to a job that they don't like. Right.
Yeah.
And we're all like sitting here going, well, we're living our passions and we're building business for ourselves and trying to serve other people. And so we don't really have that like idea of like a full retirement. But if I got to like that age in my life, you know, where it would be like the businesses are running themselves, I could see myself spending a bunch of time in a wood shop, creating furniture, building something. Cause
that's
then,
creative too.
Yeah, because I like that. And in other times in my life, like before doing into the roofing thing, I was a general contractor and building like kitchens and bathrooms. And I got a lot of happiness and fulfillment out of making something really pretty. You know, like in the end where people are like, wow.
So working
You know,
with your hands.
Working with my hands, you know. So I like that. But it's not like my ultimate, like, this is what I need to be doing with my life type thing. So building furniture, I think, would be like a cool, like, hobby type thing to make something pretty. How about you? What would be your ideal, like, to be able to build something or do something or what have you?
Like I said, I'm not creative that way, but so many different things, but probably writing.
Right.
Would be mine. Writing lots of books or...
Oh, when are you going to start doing that?
What type of books? When do I have time, right? What type of books?
Personal development, everything around that. And I know there's a lot that goes into it. It's not just... there's so much. There's the spiritual side, the intellectual side, the emotional side. Like, I want to go all of those topics and show that it's not one or nothing, or you have to do one route and that's it. There are many different opportunities. You just have to find your own space. Right. And then you can create it. It's not right or wrong.
And that's another thing is a lot of people have these stigmas around things, and especially like with mental health and art, and it just because it's foreign to you doesn't mean it's not valid.
Yeah.
It is life altering, and it's taken me on a huge journey for myself. And I just want to share the joy, the love, and the connectedness that I get from doing my artwork and share it with other people. And I just want to share that. And that's what I'm all about.
I love it.
So
for you, if in the future you're selling a piece of artwork, I'm hitting the mic with my hands because now I'm talking with my hands. You got me going, Penny. I'm just like, just all over the place. No, I do it anyways, but
right in the eye.
Yeah. It went bad so fast. There's blood everywhere. So if you were selling a piece of artwork for $100,000, right?
Whoa.
And it was like, you know, down the road where you didn't need money, right? Because it's there. You've built up your clientele and people are passionate about your artwork. It's going to happen, right? I could see you still teaching the classes and being out there, you know, in the community and doing your Heart of Colors project. Like, I think that can have a lot of potential for the long road.
Absolutely. I love that because art is kind of a weird animal. It really is. I hate to say it that way, but not only has it helped me, but I want other people to experience that, but also helping other human beings. I've always been a helper, and no matter what I do, and I've modeled that for my kids, volunteering and with their scouts, with their different projects with the Parks and Recreation, like I said, food banks and all that. And so by modeling that, that doesn't mean they're going to take that path, but at least I modeled that. And I think it's important that we do these modelings, not just because, oh, well, I went and did that and show off, like that type of thing, but more of having better stewardship, having better mindfulness within the community, and touching other people that are of the same mindset, and connecting and making our communities better.
I'm just writing out a purpose statement for you. Don't worry about it. Don't
Thank you.
Oh, no, I want to know. Okay. Now I lost my train of thought.
That's okay.
You said mindfulness for the community. Well, oh yeah. So by you modeling that, not only for your kids, like it can inspire others to do something. Like I'm thinking small, right? Like break it down to, if I see someone else, pay for somebody else's coffee in line, like I'm gonna get inspired. Maybe I should do that too. Like it gets me thinking, right? And it doesn't have to be like investing all of your time, but maybe thinking about volunteering somewhere or helping out in some other shape or form. And like you said, it doesn't have to be money. And it's not necessarily, yes, it's needed too on a big scale, but time and giving value and helping out and teaching like what you've learned.
The stewardship is the biggest thing for me, for my life. I've always modeled that. We're here, we're all in this together, whether we like it or not. And if we don't help each other in that facet, then we're doomed. I mean, we really are. It's growing that and letting people know that it's okay, not that it's a stigma or anything else. And if we reach out to other people, I know a lot of people have been burned on, volunteering and all of that, but you've got to ask yourself, why are you there? If you're there to get recognition, if you're there to get money or some sort of whatever, then you need to check that at the door, because it's about serving.
Yeah.
Always been with me about serving and helping others. And I may not make any money, but that's not why I'm here. That should be only a benefit, a
Byproduct.
byproduct.
Yeah.
A byproduct. So
Yeah, and it'll come eventually.
yeah.
Just have faith. Oh, this is kind of rough, but we started our show, this whole Purposeful in Life thing, based off of like a lot of personal development type books, but it really came down to a Simon Sinek's thing, which is Find Your Why and Start With Why. And in this Start With Why series or books that he has and training, it says, you're going to do one thing like to, and then the verb of what it is you're doing. For you, I think it's to help other human beings, right? And this is just like a rough draft of like the concept of it. We've talked about doing something like this in the show. It wasn't planned, but I just started thinking, I was listening to you and like hearing what you were saying, and I was like, oh, this is happening over and over again in your conversation in your life, where you're finding peace in your life by serving others, right? So if you're helping others, right, and I put on here, help other human beings, modeling and opening the door to health and well-being through creativity and art. And then the so that part is so that they can also help other people.
Yeah.
Right? And like that could be like a rough draft of like how you can have like a mission statement for your life. because that's where your life has fulfillment, right? And that's where all of our lives actually interconnect. Like you're saying, we're all here on this together. Is we're created to have community. We're created to serve one another. And if you get so into yourself, then you're not going to have that fulfillment and creativity and connectivity with other people. You're going to be sad or something, right?
Or something,
or depressed or disconnected. And everybody has a different experience, but a lot of those experiences overlap. And the thing about us all being in this together, it really is. People think they're an island, right? And it's like, well, do you realize? I mean, like, we all are unique. Don't get me wrong, but we all have a lot of similarities. You know.
Let's talk about our similarities rather than our differences.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of disconnectivity where like the media and the world is trying to tear us apart as a society, rather than like, hey, you know what? There might be differences politically or what have you, but if you look at it, we have a lot of the same values on the different spectrums for political stuff or what have you. But they're trying to like pull us apart rather than like
divide us.
Yeah, divide us. Yeah, let's unite, not divide.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be united.
Yes, I agree.
And the differences exist, and we should be able to just accept each other's differences. You know, I saw something, I was actually talking to Angela about this. You know, Ellen, the talk show host, woman, lesbian,
DeGeneres.
Ellen DeGeneres, just seems like an all-around good person. She's funny, she's nice, she helps a lot of people. She was, I can't remember if it was like a Super Bowl one year or some big football game or something. She was in a box seat sitting next to George Bush. Yeah. And people were like up in arms that she was like laughing and like hanging out with them and like, you know, touching them and joking around, and they were like having a good time, like being friends. And she said something about like, just because we don't agree on things doesn't mean that we can't be friends. You know,
at least civil. I mean, my goodness.
Yeah, why would you be there and like be like, oh, I'm spending $10,000 to watch this game. I'm going to be miserable because I'm sitting next to somebody who has a different political belief. It's like, no, you probably have a lot of things actually in common where you both want to help people, and you might even want to be helping people in the same way.
Right.
Right. They both might donate to some of the same nonprofits or whatever. It's not. It's because people are just trying to separate. So we need to find a way to come together, and I like that. I like that. So yeah, that's cool. And I like your purpose or your why, because it's really sees your heart where you're here to serve other people and help other people.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times people underestimate me because I'm not outgoing and flamboyant. Well, I'm kind of flamboyant in some ways, but anyway. I digress.
I love the hearts, those are beautiful.
But that's the thing, is that I think a lot of people underestimate me, and I do have a lot of knowledge and a lot of life experience. I try to be positive with it rather than negative. I will tell you that I am struggling with a health challenge. They think I've torn a rotator cuff, and so that's kind of painful at times. So to get stuck in that muck, despite what's going on in our lives, I think we can elevate each other in such a way that, you know, we can support each other without being mean.
Yeah.
We really can. And even though you may not agree with me on some things, that doesn't mean we can't be friends, or at least be civil to each other. I think that's more important than anything. I'm here to bring love, and that's it. I've realized that some time ago. I just didn't know how to sometimes do it, but that's what I'm here to do.
And we have to have grace with one another and forgive one another.
Well, ourselves, especially.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
That's the hardest one, isn't it?
Yes. It's like, oh, my goodness.
Who are we the hardest on? Ourselves.
Yes,
Ourselves, yes.
Because we have this preconceived notion that, oh, well, I've got to see it this way. I got to do it this way. I got to, well, life happens. And, you know, just like this last year, I've had some major challenges in my life. And it's like, well, I can sit here and throw a pity party, or I can pull up my big girl panties and get this done. So, you know.
And help each other in any way we can.
And I am very grateful, and I can't say this enough, for the Ignite You group, because they have helped me tremendously when we had the tree fall and the damage, and then when we had the water flood in our basement, and to get that all built up. I am so grateful that I was a part of this group, to have that to fall back on, and I cannot express it enough. It's been a huge, not only learning experience, but a really good positive experience with a networking group. This is a very unique one. And that's why I've been here for almost 2 years with them. So I can't say enough about the group. It has its pitfalls, like everything. So, you know, life happens.
We're all like, oh yeah.
Life happens.
Because there's personalities, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And we all have our own issues. No one's perfect. So
And if we keep that in mind, that we're not perfect, nor will anybody else be perfect, I think it's going to be important. I know I try to take everything with a grain of salt, and just like, okay, well, I'm not sure what that was about. Let's try not to make judgments about it, and let it go. So
sometimes we tell ourselves a story about why someone's doing something, you know. Like, and I have a tendency to do that as well. Like, just assume that, like, you know, people aren't picking up their dog poop, and it's annoying, right? Well, maybe they can't bend over.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
It could be as simple as that.
maybe there's something else going on there. But you know, it's like we have to try to, like, have some grace, I guess, is what I'm getting at. And I'm have fault with this, as well. Like, not having the grace for other people. Or myself, right? Like I said, we're our biggest judges on ourselves. But so when we leave our episode today, I'd like to highlight you and your business, and be able to point people to you. What's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
Usually by email. That's the easiest way, because I've got so many things going on. That is one thing I've trained myself to be consistent with.
Is checking that.
Checking my email. I'm not always on Facebook, because sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. I'm not always by the phone. Sometimes I have to put the phone down. So,
what's your email address?
My email address is penny@cosmicsparkdesigns.com. If you want to get a hold of me, I have an 800 number, 888-670-5578. That does go to voicemail if I'm not available. And what else is there?
YouTube channel.
Yes, I do have a YouTube channel, to where I put up videos of my artwork that I do. There's the glassware, the acrylic pours, and then, of course, my canvases as well. So,
what's the YouTube channel called?
Cosmic Spark Designs.
Cosmic Spark. Designs.
Yeah.
The last one. Designs is important, otherwise you won't find it.
So you
Etsy?
wanted to know, I do have an Etsy site. You wanted to know the origin of that name.
Yes, I was.
Okay. Well, so some time ago, probably 15 or, maybe 15 or so years ago, something came to me. I was in a meditation in my church, and it just came to me, and the Cosmic Spark. And then I decided to go with Cosmic Spark Designs, because I didn't know where my artwork was going to go, and decided that was what it was going to be. And I've stuck with it.
Good.
I love it.
Oh,
Love it.
And the big thing I want to highlight, again, I just keep on pushing it because it hits my heart, is the Heart of Colors project. You know, How does someone like find you or find that or get involved in it? Have you created like a Facebook page for it, or what's
There's not a specific Facebook page on it, but there's more information on my Facebook Cosmic Sparks website, or the Facebook page for my business.
Okay.
I don't really have anything set up for donations other than my PayPal if you want to do it that way. Otherwise, I'm still trying to work out the logistics on that. So
it's a new brainchild for that you're working on
it's fairly
developing.
new, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I like that concept though, because it's, you can earn a little money while you're serving other people. And you need money to pay for the supplies and stuff too. So
yeah,
it's not even
it does
just
take
that.
quite a bit of supplies. There's all the paint. There's pouring mixture that goes in with it. There's canvases, all the paper towels and trays, drip trays and things like that. So those are the things that
Need some resources for.
yeah, those are the things I need resources for to help with that.
And then do you have an appointment or a scheduled time, like in a location that you're going to do your first event for that yet? Or is it still being
It's still
figured out?
in the process, but I do have acrylic pour coming up on February 1st at 4 p.m. at Michael's Community Classroom on 38th Street. So
Okay. Is that the arts store or whatever, Michael's? Okay.
yep.
Are you going to do that on a monthly basis?
I am. It's February 1st, March 7th, and I'm not sure about the April one, but
But
it's
the first
yeah.
Saturday?
I think it's the first Saturday of each month. I think it is. So
Okay.
Cool.
That's neat. We really appreciate you being on our show.
thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
And
I
it went by
appreciate it.
really quick, and it was
know.
really, really easy. And you just got to share your story and talk about why you're here. And that's what we're trying to do with people, is just get people to think about why are they here and how can they serve other people.
Right.
And we need to think about it ourselves as well. Right. Like a constant, like, okay, not that we always need to be busy, because we do need time to slow down and reflect, because we talked about that too, but that we need to be able to serve other people, because that's where it's going to really be at, and that's where you'll get your healing from for yourself, and also just find some fulfillment and purpose there too. So you'll find it. Like if you're serving other people, you'll find it eventually. Just keep on trying things, because something will click and you'll be like, oh,
this is what it is.
This is what those crazy people were talking about, right? so we really appreciate you being on the show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And good luck today. And I hope lots
Thank
of
you.
people are served with the Martin Luther King
Yeah.
Day.
Thank you.
What's it called again in Tacoma?
The Tacoma Convention Center, the Martin Luther King celebration.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
We love it. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for
Thank you.
listening.